This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Tonight from Marlins Park in Miami. Game number 1 of a 3-game series. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Miami Marlins. And welcome to the broadcast booth. Jim Hayes is with us. That's Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. Tim, the Cardinals swept out of Wrigley Field in Chicago. Really, the Cubs dominated that series, so the Cardinals start tonight under the 500 mark, and they've got to get things going.
They're going to Michael Wacha. He has not started a game in about 20 days, and what's he looking for? Tilt. And the reason for that, he spent the last 3 months of the season last year with an oblique strain. That prevented him from getting the ball down, and sure enough, this year he comes back with left tendonitis or left knee tendonitis, and that also prevents him from getting the ball down. So he's hopeful to be healthy and happy tonight.
Michael Wacha, Sandy Alcantara, the former Cardinals, squaring off tonight. Park, where are they? Notable former Marlins around the league and some of the biggest names in baseball. Marcell Ozuna, Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton, JT Realmuto, Derek Dietrich, and D. Gordon all gone as they rebuild yet again here with the Miami Marlins. The Cardinals and the Marlins coming up. It's game number 1 of the 3-game series right here on Fox Sports Midwest. McCarver and Jim Hayes and McLaughlin, 76 degrees here at Marlins Park. I'd like to say it's a late arriving crowd, but unfortunately, this is the norm here in Miami. Not a lot of fans, and the ones that are in attendance are wearing red. The GMC lineup: Carpenter, Martinez, and Goldschmidt. The former Marlin, Marcell Ozuna, Colton Wong, Jairo Munoz, the started shortstop, Harrison Bader, Matt Wieters, and Michael Wacha. Sandy Alcantara, the former Cardinal hard thrower, gets the call tonight.
About a third of the season played for the Cardinals, 2/3 of the season to make good on what was bad in the first third.
Hyundai pitch arsenal. Very good fastballs we saw when he arrived in St. Louis.
Well, what an arm he has, Dan. And, of course, the Cardinals knew that. But they also were trying to get Marcell Ozuna and Alcantara in that trade for Marcell a couple of years ago, year and a half ago, really.
He's pitched very well here lately for Miami. 2-1, and only 5 earned in his last 27 innings. And that coincides with the fact that he has not been walking many, and he goes to 3-0 here on Carpenter. His control was always at issue in the minor leagues, and certainly when he first came up to the big leagues. And it's a leadoff walk on 4 pitches by Matt Carpenter.
Well, your control is going to always be an issue when you're from a family of 11 children.
Right. The Marlins defensively tonight. Around the horn presented by Dobbs, Dean, Riddle, and Ramirez in the outfield. Along the infield, Anderson, Rojas, Castro, and Cooper. And Alfaro is behind the plate.
That's the first time in a long time that Matt Carpenter has walked on 4 straight pitches to lead off a game.
Yeah. Jose Martinez, and there's been a lot of guys struggling in the Cardinal lineup. He is 3 for his last 29 as he takes a 95-mile-an-hour pitch for a strike. There's a myriad of issues right now for the Cardinals trying to get right here in Miami.
Yes.
It's bounced and kept in front by Jorge Alfaro. He was part of the deal that sent Realmuto to the Phillies. Alfaro coming back. Known for his defense.
Strong arm.
Big time.
Good power. Leads the Marlins in both home runs and RBIs.
Well, you say that Martinez, he's not hitting. Well, neither is the guy that he's replacing tonight in right field. And that's Dexter Fowler. Fowler is 5 for his last 42.
One of the rare times this year that Fowler is set while Martinez had started against a right-handed pitcher.
Mike Shields saying with the late night coming in, club arrived around 4:30 from Chicago. Good time to give him a little breather. That's the second strike on Martinez. You know, and I know fans see Mike Shield on the pre and the post game show. And something that Rick Horton always loves to say, don't confuse meekness with weakness. And Mike actually said that. He said, I realize that fans are getting antsy and they're upset. They're frustrated. Believe me, we are too. 2-2 pitch. Could be a double play ball. 6-4. And the turn. Got him. Double play. Rojas, Castro, Cooper.
They may look at this, Dan. It was very, very close. Looked like he had him by a hair, but very, very close at first. So one thing you like to see runners running hard, even when they hit a ball that you would have thought would be a double play ball, and upon review, it looks like they had him at first.
So with 2 outs, the batter is Paul Goldschmidt. All 4 balls that he hit last night, he went 2 for 4, were hit hard. And that hopefully is a sign of something that is going in the right direction for Goldschmidt.
I wouldn't say the Cardinals are desperate right now, but there are a couple of guys that are playing like they are desperate. And it kind of the makings of a team that, if not desperate, you know, you try never to use that word, particularly in the early part of the season, because you have 2/3 of the season left.
Last 22 games, 3 extra base hits.
Oh, my gosh.
For Goldschmidt. That's it.
Yeah. Wow.
Last night, only his 5th double. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big gap in left center. With 2 outs and nobody on for the Cardinals. Against Miami, a .318 career average, 11 doubles, the 7 home runs in just 42 games. It seems like we put that up with every team he faces. He's got big numbers against. We're still
individually
waiting. Yeah. And he strikes out. High fastball, so the Cardinals get a leadoff walk on 4 pitches. That's erased on the double play. Strikeout of Goldschmidt and Michael Wacha to the mound when the Cardinals did it in the open. First start since May 22nd. Genesis Cabrera was called up, made his major league debut, and went 0-2. ERA about 6.5. And there's a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Michael has had a couple of relief appearances, but a fastball changeup. There's not a lot of, how would you say, deception in his breaking ball. He doesn't get a lot of swings and misses with his breaking ball. So it's either fastball, changeup. His breaking ball is third best pitch.
Austin Dean had a leadoff homer in their ball game yesterday. They had a 5-1 lead against Atlanta going into the 9th.
Rugged, tough game for the Marlins. Gave up 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning. All 4 runs given up by
Sergio
Romo, the ex-Giant.
He's been used as their closer, and they're looking at maybe Conley going tonight because of the usage he's had over the weekend and certainly yesterday. So we'll see if the lefty does indeed get a chance to close this game out.
Romo with 11 saves.
Right.
That's unusual. 11 years in the big league, Sergio Romo.
And the 2-1 lifted to right field. Jose Martinez there to make the catch. Well, like the Cardinals, there are many in the Marlins lineup struggling right now, so something's got to give. The batting order presented by GMC. Dean, Cooper, Anderson, and then Castro, Ramirez, and Riddle, Alfaro, Rojas, Alcantara. So here's Garrett Cooper batting .281 with 5 home runs. And he's driven in 16. Marlins have lost 4 straight. And in those games, they've only scored 8 runs as a team, hitting .199. 2 balls and no strikes.
Kind of a choose your poison for either team, the Cardinals or the Marlins, in this game tonight.
And the 2-0 pitch. I look at not only the tilt that you spoke of, but also the velocity to offset the changeup for Michael Wacha.
Yeah.
And his velocity coming out of the bullpen last time was very good.
That's the type pitch that Dan is talking about right there, that delivery of tilt with the oblique problem last year.
Up the middle past Munoz and a base hit into center.
It's one of those things where you get a ground ball and it just finds a hole, but Michael Wacha, that's the type of pitch he'd like to make with a guy on first and less than 2 out for the double play. Thing, you fall behind big league hitters, and it makes it so much easier to hit. Good try by Munoz to no avail.
Here's Brian Anderson. 2 for his last 16. He's a good player, though. They feel that they're going to build around this young man.
Good player, great defender, rocket for an arm, or rocket launcher for an arm.
And a ground ball could be 2. Carpenter, Wong, Goldschmidt, double play. Both teams exchanging double plays in this first inning, and there's no score. 3 home run in this game will raise money for prostate cancer research. So far, nearly $500,000 has been raised in the challenge, and you can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Here's Marcell Ozuna, the former Miami Marlin, and he looks at a strike. Only Josh Bell and Nolan Arenado have more runs batted in than Marcell Ozuna this year. He's driven in 54, Bell 57, Arenado 55. And the 1-1.
You think about, Dan, the way the Cardinals have hit. There have been very few opportunities for Marcell to drive in runs. So 54 RBIs might be not a lot for the Pirates and Josh Bell, but it's certainly a lot for Marcell Ozuna.
Well, he's had 11 home runs of his 17 with men on base. So he's made the most of it. That's the most home runs with men on in baseball this year. That's it out of play. Kubota Power Stats. And a look at Marcell with the Marlins and what he's done in a couple of years. Almost a full 2 seasons with St. Louis. So a Contro part of the deal to bring Ozuna to the Gateway City, and really the centerpiece going back to the Marlins. As Ozuna rips it foul.
Well, you know, he's at least a little nervous the first time facing the team from which he was traded.
Right now he's got 17 1/3 consecutive shutout innings here at home, which includes his last 2 starts. Ozuna rips it out to left field. And the Cardinals have their first base hit of the night.
That was one of those situations that it was a get-me-over fastball with 2 strikes. That's a tough pitch for a major league hitter to receive right down the pipe. 88 miles an hour. Just trying to throw a strike. He'll learn on that end of it. With 2 strikes, that's when you want to bury the ball.
So Colton Wong moving up to the 5th spot in the lineup for this ball game tonight. Wong, they've got the shift on. Tough to turn 2 with his speed, and they can't. Traditional defense, that's a base hit. So at least they from the Marlins' perspective, get the lead man.
It's either a base hit or a double play, because the shortstop right there, having to run to the bag, would be the second baseman throwing it to the shortstop.
It's Miguel Rojas, really slick defender, too.
Good player, yep. I think of a line that Kurt Simmons had, left-handed pitcher for the Cardinals back in the 60s. Talking about Doubleday put him there for a reason.
Yeah.
Don't shift.
Here's Jairo Munoz.
I remember with Henry Aaron, that was the only guy that Kurt, in going over the hitters, only guy he would shift against. And he would say, step to pull. To the point where the players that were in on the meeting would say, when Aaron came up, step to pull. Kurt didn't have to say it.
He knew it, huh?
He knew it, yeah.
Meaning,
of course, that's where he wanted them played. He didn't care where anybody else played against them, but he was a guy who wanted things straight up all the way around. Outfielders, infielders, everybody, straight up.
He wouldn't like today's game.
Oh, my gosh.
Drive him crazy.
He would.
And Munoz calls time, so Jairo getting the start, and Paul DeJong, everyday shortstop, in a tailspin right now, 6 for his last 55. So Munoz gets the call tonight here in Game 1.
Even though that did include 2 home runs recently, right? Right, against Chicago.
There's Jim Hayes to DeJong's right. And, well, you know Jimmy's going to be in that starting lineup every night.
I don't know.
Doesn't want a day off, Tim. And there's 2 strikes on Munoz.
Well, you know, it's interesting in sitting patterns. You notice that DeJong is way down at the other end of the bench. He's probably upset that he's not playing tonight. And that's okay. It's okay for a manager to make a player upset because he's not playing. Because the best way to assure getting into the game is to hit. You hit, you play.
And Munoz just got a piece to stay alive. I just think, you know, it comes down to results.
Yeah.
You know, and right now you're getting to the point, I was talking with Mike Schilt about this. You know, he said it very succinctly. He said, look, it's game number 64. We play 162. We got to get it going.
More than a third of the season.
Right. And the 0-2 pitch. And the Cardinals, you know, it's been tough for them away from St. Louis. 16 of the Cardinals' next 25 are away from Busch Stadium. They've played 29 road games so far this year, third fewest in the league. And the 11 road wins, the fewest in the bigs as well. So
yeah.
Going to have to do it on the road.
Worst record in the National League on the road.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Munoz. Good fastball at 95, and the second tonight for Alcantara. Take a look at Tim McCarver's Toyota key to the game.
Yeah, with all that said, you know, the one thing for young players to remember is opportunity is knocking. I mean, when older guys don't do it, then you take it upon yourself to do it yourself, and that's how you are elevated, perhaps, on a guy like Harrison Bader.
2 outs, runner at first, and Bader looks at a strike. Yadier Molina with us. Worked out at Busch Stadium yesterday, then went to the Blues, game number 6, shown on the Jumbotron and the national telecast. And flew out this morning to rejoin the team here in Miami. Jim will have more on that. And the news is good. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at first. Cardinals swept for only the second time this year. And both coming at the hands of the Cubs at Wrigley. A Check on Wong, who's got 10 stolen bases and is yet to be caught.
Cards and Cubs have played each other 9 times. The Cubs have won 6 at Wrigley. The Cardinals have won 3 in St. Louis. That's the first time since 1892 that has been the same. Isn't that something? That's when they started playing each other, back before the turn of the 19th century.
Well, if you're wondering about the Cardinals in running in this series, you got hard thrower on the mound, fairly decent numbers to the plate, but the guy behind the plate was rated as the best arm strength of all catchers and the 3rd best average pop-up times to second base.
The one problem that Alfaro has is the transfer. He can bobble a ball and trying to throw guys out. I mean, this is really kind of a running situation with Wong on at first, 2 outs.
That's why I brought it up, for sure.
Absolutely.
Also, you got a team struggling. You're trying to get going, get something moving.
Yeah, sure. Animation is good. But Alfaro often has a tough time getting the ball from the glove to his throwing position.
The 2-2 pitch. Up and in. 96 to Bader.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike Schilt, if you're thinking about that, he'd love to see a couple of his hitters knocked down. Knock them down. That'll wake them up. Being docile hasn't.
Wong off with this pitch. There he goes. And Bader hits a fly ball. Shallow left along the line. It may drop, and it does, but foul.
Ball looked like it was just foul. You had the third baseman, shortstop, left fielder converging. Fouled by about 4 inches, it looked. Harrison Bader might have the best bat twirling in the major leagues.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Not bad.
He's got the hair, he's got the look, and he's got the bat twirl. Wong running again, the 3-2 with 2 outs. And it's out of play.
Kind of like Robert Preston in The Music Man. 76 trombones led the big parade. The Cardinals have had not a lot of joy to parade about here lately.
Pitch number 8 of the at-bat right here.
Harrison did have a home run on Saturday night. That's when the Cardinals scored 4 in the first and didn't get a ball out of the infield after that.
8 innings.
Unbelievable.
John Lester off the hook. 3-2 pitch and a walk to Harrison Bader. 8-pitch at bat by Bader. The second walk issued by Alcantara. Runners at first and second and 2 outs. Lowest percentage of pitches in the strike zone in the National League, and Alcantara is 5th on that list. Leading the way, Luis Castillo of Cincinnati. Urena, he'll pitch game 3 of this series, his teammate. Then Corbin, Alcantara. 2 outs and 2 on for Wieters. And he looks at strike 1. Rotation as this young man, Urena, Trevor Richards, Pablo Lopez, and then Caleb Smith is a left-hander that's going on the injured list with a hip issue, and that's tapped foul. So they've got a decision to make for tomorrow.
Yeah, they've got some good young pitchers. I think that's the department in which the strength lies for the Marlins. I mean, they're hitters. They don't have a lot of power. They have 48 home runs, and to give you an idea how few it is for the Marlins, Christian Yelich, that was traded to Milwaukee, has 24 home runs, which is half the total of all of the home runs amassed by the Marlins. It's not funny to the Marlins, but it's nonetheless a fact.
Eliar Hernandez will go tomorrow, filling in that spot in the rotation, and the 0-2 pitch. Zach Gallen was also part of the deal that brought Alcantara and Magneuris Sierra to Miami for Ozuna. He's 8-1 right now at AAA.
New Orleans, right? That's their AAA affiliate.
1.57 ERA.
Oh, my gosh.
And there was some talk that maybe he would get that start, but he's not on the 40-man. Miami is not going anywhere, so they didn't want to start his clock. But
let him get a good year under his belt. Yeah.
And I think also they're seeing maybe some solid returns on the Ozuna deal. Two-two pitch coming up here to Matt Wieters.
This is a big
back to the bag.
Excuse me, Dan. This is a big pitch right here. There's a big difference with 2 outs and runners on base, and a 2-2 count as opposed to a 3-2 count. 3-2 you must run. 2-2 you're not going anywhere. So a key pitch right here for Alcantara.
Does he get a fastball here with the pitcher on deck?
I think so.
He does. Hit the other way. Glove down at third, and a nice play.
We were talking about Anderson. Boy, what a play.
Just getting out there to warm the bottom of the second. Yadier Molina, there he is with Jed Jerko, both on the injured list. And Jim Hayes has an update on the All-Star catcher.
Yeah, Yadi told me there's no timetable for his return, but he's not ruling out this week, possibly New York. Yadi is dealing with a tendon strain near his right thumb. He told me there's no longer any pain. It's about building up strength. Yadi told me, I've been swinging the bat the last couple days, and it's starting to feel normal. Yadi says it's been hard being out while the team struggles, but he said right now the only thing I can do is to get better. So, Dan, he's getting close.
Longtime battery mate Adam Wainwright. We saw him get hurt in the ball game last night at Wrigley. What's the update on Adam?
Yeah, it's a left hamstring strain, so Waino goes to the injured list. They're still waiting for test results to gauge the severity of Waino's hamstring issue. John Mozeliak saying that it's pretty clear that Waino will miss his next start. That would come on Friday. He says the plan to fill that spot is going to be an internal option, but they will look at Alex Reyes as an option if it goes beyond Waino missing just that one start. And the thing about Reyes, they're looking for him to be more efficient. In his last start, Dan, he struck out 10, but he lasted only 4 innings. Again, they're looking for him to be a little bit more efficient.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. Good stuff. Cardinals would love to see some length out of Michael Wacha tonight. Innings pitched as the bullpen was taxed a bit. You think about the series over the weekend. This is Starlin Castro, by the way, the former Cub at the plate, now in his 10th Major League season. But you had Michaelis getting knocked out with a line drive on the forearm. Now he is scheduled to start 2 nights from this evening. Flaherty went 3 2/3 on Saturday, and then Wainwright 4 1/3 last night, then exiting with the hamstring issue. So they need some length out of Michael Wacha. Little tapper back to Michael off the mound. He'll step and throw for the out. Take a look at the Cardinal defense tonight, and some changes in there. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Ozuna, Bader, Martinez to start in right, Carpenter at third, Munoz at short. That's a change. Wong and Goldschmidt on the right side, Matt Wieters behind the plate. Harold Ramirez, the right fielder. He's 2 for his last 20 with 8 strikeouts. It's good to see that Michael's been able to retire the first man of both innings. That's been a problem for him.
Yes, it has.
He's only retired 59% of the first batter of the innings he's pitched in, and that is a base hit over Munoz and the second hit for the Marlins.
I've been asked over the years in my opinion, the biggest, it's actually a broken bat base hit, but the biggest pitch in a sequence. And my response is quite simple. Strike one.
First out of an inning and strike one on the batter.
First strike to the batter, first out to the inning. Doesn't happen, obviously, it doesn't happen always, but it's a pretty good test for any pitcher-catcher combination to use that approach. And when you get them with two strikes, bury them.
I think what's been surprising about Walker's year, and it could change very quickly, but the walks, he's had 32 walks in 50 innings.
Just can't figure that out.
There's JT Riddle, and there's strike one.
One game where he walked 7 or 8 back in early May.
San Diego, maybe?
Maybe, perhaps.
It was a Saturday afternoon at Busch Stadium. Might have been 9. It was 8. April 6th against San Diego.
First outing of the year.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Last time that Michael Wacha saw the Miami Marlins, July 6th of 2017, nearly 2 years ago. And in that ballgame, Jose Fernandez made the start for the Miami Marlins and suffered only his second loss at home. He came into that season undefeated.
I remember that. We did that game.
Right. He was undefeated, Tim, in his career at home. And he took the loss that night, and that would be the last time that he would lose a game at home. None of the first 7 Marlins he faced are on the team. Gordon, Realmuto, Yelich, Ozuna, Bohr, Martin Prado, Ichiro. Good changeup there. 2-2.
Bring that up because Jose died of a boating accident a couple of weeks later.
Way too young. 4 seasons, and his career ERA was 2.58. 2-2 pitch. Instead of check on the runner at first base, that's Harold Ramirez. Wacha came out of the bullpen against the Phillies. That was an ugly night for he and the Cardinals. Then, last pitched on Tuesday out of the pen, 2 1/3 scoreless baseball. There's another ground ball. Wong spinning out there, and the double play. The Cardinals turned their second double play in as many innings. And there's no score. That's with Lowe's, the fewest home runs by ballpark seen this season. Tim talked about the struggles of the Marlins with 48 team home runs. Well, this ballpark has seen 52, fewest in baseball. Then San Francisco, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and Boston on that list. Fenway Park.
That's unusual because the Red Sox off to that slow start.
Got to wonder if the weather would have something to do with that at
probably.
Fenway. Here's Michael Wacha, 9th place hitter in this Cardinal lineup. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. And a strikeout. So first time through the lineup, Cardinals get 1 hit and they strike out 3 times. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Well, even when they sang the anthem here at the ballpark tonight, you could hear at the tail end, the home of the Brave, it was the home of the Blues. Fans here with the Cardinals thinking about the Blues, and Game 7 coming up. We'll have the pre- and the post-game show coming up as well.
Wednesday night, right?
Wednesday night in Boston.
With two great sports towns colliding.
How about the scene in St. Louis?
Oh, my gosh.
Outside of Enterprise Center.
I just thought NBC did a terrific job in covering the pregame ceremony and the postgame ceremony yesterday.
Great Charles Glenn that sang the anthem for the final time. And the 2-2 hit into the shift. 4 infielders on the right side, and Carpenter 0 for 1 with a walk now.
I don't know of anybody in the major leagues that has been more affected by the shift. And, of course, here's the shift yesterday, right next to the river. And what a job NBC, our friends there, did. My gosh.
And our friends at Fox Sports Midwest that have been with the team.
Of course. Pardon me.
You know, day in and day out, they've been with the team on this postseason run. And again, we'll have the pre and the post game before and after Game 7.
But would you agree with that? I mean, how could you be any more affected by the shift than Carpenter has been?
And he's a guy that doesn't hit a lot of ground balls. So
no,
when he does,
not to the left side, they're almost non-existent.
Exactly. So everything's on the ground to the right side, if indeed he puts it on the ground.
Yeah, right.
Nothing in 2, the count on Jose Martinez. And a strike on the outside corner. Jose didn't like it. Alcantara with his 4th strikeout of the night, 2 in the inning. West, the Blues games in Boston. Scott Mormon, Jamie Rivers will be in studio. John Kelly, Darren Pang, Bernie Federko in Boston. And coverage at 6 Wednesday night on Fox Sports Midwest Plus. That'll be on the Plus channel, Fox Sports Midwest Plus. Well, partner, you knew a thing or two about Game 7s. Cardinals have played in 19 World Series. 11 of them went to a Game 7. And St. Louis 8-3 in those. And there's a base hit on a pitch that was up to Alfaro.
I will guarantee you that winning Game 7 is more important and makes you happier than losing it. And that was on both ends of that. And the guy listening at home in Omaha was too. He threw 3 Game 7s. Bob Gibson, about whom I'm talking. Bob beat the Yankees on the pop-up by Bobby Richardson in Game 7 in St. Louis. And we won Game 7 when George Scott made the last out swinging in Boston in 1967. And then the Tigers snuck up on us and beat Bob and the Cardinals in 1968. A real dramatic downer, believe me.
You said it still pains you to this day.
It does. It does.
51 years later.
I don't know why I'm talking about it.
51 years later.
51 years later.
Miguel Rojas hitting .269. Cardinals have turned 2 double plays tonight. Now, you said something earlier, and I got a text from the aforementioned Hall of Famer Bob Gibson.
Why I thought I'd bring it up.
Well, you said, well, maybe the Cardinals, wouldn't be a bad thing to see them get hit, right? You said maybe get your attention, knocked down.
Get knocked down.
Okay. Well, Bob said no reason to knock anyone down.
It's a typical Gibson response. Gibsonian response.
See him in a lazy boy right now laughing at both of us.
Oh, yeah. He loves that. Waka, an unusual ground ball pitcher, has already had 2 double play ground balls.
And now it's the walk to the 8th place hitter. Single and a walk, and it brings in Alcantara, who's got 2 sacrifices this year. All-Star ballot is out. Presented by Google. Vote for your favorite Cardinals. STL Cardinals. Google and Cardinals.com. Walk number 1 issued by Waka tonight. Runners at first and second, and the corners are in for the Cardinals. Popped up and out of play.
If you're Paul Goldschmidt, just come on all the way in. You know, he's a 23-year-old hitter. There's no way he's going to, or you got to figure there's no way he's going to be pulling any kind of trick play. He's just nervous about getting the ball down anywhere. And if you're Goldschmidt, just keep on coming.
And the 0-1 pitch to Alcantara instead of pickoff and back in safely. And Munoz pointing to the dugout, saying, make sure you take a closer look at that.
I don't think he got him, but it was closer than I thought. Throw was a little high. Quick tag by Munoz.
Ooh, that's close.
A lot closer. Munoz pointing something out to second base umpire Jim Wolf.
Well, if there's a different viewpoint than the one we just saw, where you can see the glove go right on the shoulder.
That's right.
I think it'll show that he's out. So the Cardinals will challenge here. And normally teams early in a game, now every game is different, and it's dictated a lot of times by how your offense is going and who's on the mound.
Right.
Will runs be at a premium? They don't challenge this early unless they feel he's out.
It's a team game, too. And had Alcantara gotten the ball down, then you don't have that problem. You don't have a throw to second base with the count 0-1. You have Alcantara probably trying to bunt the runner over from first to second.
Oh, he's out. You could see the right hand right behind the heel of Munoz still had not touched the bag.
Yeah,
he's
second
out.
base umpire didn't have a good shot of that.
Yeah.
He actually, the right foot of Munoz hit the right hand of the base runner, I thought.
Sam Holbrook, the crew chief, and then you bring in the umpire that made the call. And the umpires tonight, Holbrook behind the plate, Chris Segal at first, Manny Gonzalez at second, and Jim Wolf down at third. And so the Cardinals challenge, and it pays off.
And see, here's a guy who doesn't run real well. So he's trying to get an extra half step. Good play by Munoz and a quick pivot by Waka. It's the only guy you can't see as a base runner, the shortstop, because he's behind you. You can see the second baseman, he's off to the left, first baseman, third baseman, but not the shortstop.
And really, it totally changes this inning.
I'll say.
So now instead of two runners on, nobody out, runner at first, you pick off the lead runner and the pitcher at the plate. First pitch was bunted foul for strike one. And that's bunted in the air, foul, and a souvenir for this sparse crowd.
Well, we talked about this over and over and over again, and this includes the Cardinals. It is it's an element of fear that is in a hitter, a guy who almost never faces the pitcher. And now all of a sudden he's called upon to bring both feet there, and it's a terrifying thought to him. That's why most of them, Johnny Keane used to say, he was the manager of the Cardinals back in the 60s, used to say, in order to bunt the ball fair, really make a firm attempt with strike one. You have a better chance.
Even there, you could see he was going to pull back. There was no attempt.
Yeah.
You know, for him, in the way that he set up, there was no way, the way that he set up, that he was going to get a bunt down. Bat was back. It was not parallel to the ground.
Yeah,
I mean, little things like that.
Right.
And he strikes out. So Alcantara couldn't get the bunt down. The first strikeout for Michael Wacha, and there's two away. Can't catch a game on television? You can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals, presented by T-Mobile. And it's a great way to check out the pre and the post game show, the Blues. And then you watch a little Cardinals, and then you just flip back and forth. You got them both. You got one on your phone or your iPad. And
St. Louis Sports.
And the Cardinals and our pregame and postgame show of Blues hockey throughout this postseason. A strike to Austin Dean.
Think about that, how this inning's gone. First and second, nobody out. Runner at second was picked off. Then a strikeout by Alcantara. Now you have a guy on first and 2 outs. And no runs have scored.
Dean at the top of the lineup here from Miami. Mentioned that he had the leadoff homer yesterday against Atlanta. First career leadoff homer, and he's only 80 shy of Ricky Henderson. He had 81. 81 leadoff homers.
Man.
And the next closest, Alfonso Soriano and Craig Biggio, they had 53. That's pulled foul.
In my opinion, Ricky Henderson was among the top 20 players in the history of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe top 10.
4 different stints with the team that originally had him, the Oakland A's.
Mm-hmm.
And the most dangerous leadoff man in baseball history.
Just terrifying.
And 1,406 stolen bases. And he was really close to 2,300 runs scored in his career.
A guy who, when he went into the Hall of Fame, went to school to get speaking lessons. And, I mean, I've got goosebumps. I get them every time I tell this story. But a man who was frightened in front of a microphone, became adept at speaking to crowds, and not only pulled it off, but people were in tears in Cooperstown. And that, you know what, Danny? That's the way it should be.
Absolutely. 10-time All-Star and MVP, won a Gold Glove. Incredible talent. And played forever, it seemed like, too.
Yeah.
Kept himself in remarkable shape. The 1-2 pitch, and that's pulled. Carpenter, force play to Wong at second, and we played 3 innings. Here in Miami, Goldschmidt coming up. National League pitchers is 23 and younger, 10 or more starts, sub 4.5 ERA. And Sandy Alcantara on that list, as well as Jack Flaherty of the Cardinals. Paul Goldschmidt struck out swinging first time up. Goldschmidt, Ozuna, and Wong. Cardinals have 2 walks, 1 base hit. They've struck out 4 times.
See, Dan, we've talked about it several times, not about Alcantara, but about Goldschmidt and how far he has to go with the bat. His bat, the tip of the bat, when he starts, is right around the narrowing part of his waist in the back. And that's a long way to go to hit a big league fastball. Now, he does come up, but that's why National League pitchers try to pitch him high heat. He does bring that bat up, but he's got to be ready. There's a lot to do for Paul to get ready for that fastball. Another example, fouling it off.
Yeah, guys always have different triggers that we talk
that's
about.
Right. But you got to have a trigger point.
Yep.
Only guy in the major leagues that never had a trigger point that I remember, Paul Molitor.
It's sharply to third, backhanded by Anderson, and that's the first out here in the Cardinals' half of the 4th.
Paul Molitor would lock as far as his 2 hands could take the bat back, and he would go from that position without a trigger. I know of no other hitter that did that. Now, I'm sure along the way there have been some, but I know of none.
Minnesota Twin, their former manager, a Hall of Famer, won a world championship with the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Designated hitter, really extended his career. Ozuna, his second hit. That's down into the left field corner. And Marcel trotting into second base, standing up with a 1-out double.
Well,
so he's 2 for 2.
Yeah, Marcel stumbled out of the box, Dan. I don't know if he slipped. Sometimes right-handed hitters will slip on the plate as they try to cross it. That's may have been, it did, I think that happened on that play, but nonetheless, he's on second base here with one out.
The Cardinals need, with runners in scoring position, to start picking it up. Plain and simple.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Here's Colton Wong, 255 the average with runners in scoring position. 3 infielders on the right side. I think it's not only the Cardinals, but it's an epidemic in the game. In these spots, a premium on putting the ball in play. Make the defense make the play.
The quintessential offensive unit is a team that hit, not hit, out, hit.
And that's what we're seeing.
There's a big difference now. You're exactly right. Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
What we're seeing now in many teams is hit, out, hit. Well, that gets a couple of guys on, but it doesn't get anybody in.
And with Wong, Tim, we see against lefties, and his average this year is better against left-handed pitching than right-handed. And he'll keep the front shoulder in and take it the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now he's got a ton of room there to the left side.
Oh, yeah.
2-0 the count.
Yeah, make that transformation and imagine a left-hander on the mound, or at least drill it into your front shoulder. You got to find a way, otherwise it evaporates.
The 2-0 pitch. 2-1. That one caught Alfaro, so he's limping a little bit on that plate. Got him on the left knee.
Oh, I missed that.
And your tombstone says...
Pitchers did this.
That's right.
Yes.
And they'll know it's you. When you first told me that, I about fell out of my chair. I love that.
I don't.
Well, I don't want to see you go there anytime soon.
No. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
A long ways to go.
I would hope so.
Yes. Let's move on. Here's a 2-1 pitch now to Colton Wong. Ozuna dancing out there at second base. How distracting is that for a hitter, seeing that, if Alcantara decided to deliver that pitch?
Yeah, you can do it. What you do as a hitter is, if it bothers you, step out. That's all. That's a way to correct that.
The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Jairo Munoz at the on-deck circle.
It's a balk, isn't it?
Well, he called time. He was granted. Yes, somebody called time. I believe that may have been Wong.
I was watching Alcantara.
Yeah,
Wong. It had to be Wong, yeah.
I definitely could hear somebody call time over this monstrous crowd. The 2-2. And a strikeout of Wong. Strikeout number 5 for Alcantara. And it's up to Munoz.
The Cardinals with 3 games at Wrigley Field, and they had 30 strikeouts in those 3 games. 5 walks. Now, if you can counter the walks with the strikeouts, and now you're getting closer. But to have a 6-to-1 ratio, 30 strikeouts and 5 walks, you can't do that in the big leagues and expect to win. Plain and simple.
And in the 3 games, they only had 10 at-bats with runners in scoring position. They went 3 for 10.
Well, that's staggering. I didn't realize
and
that.
as a team in the 3 games, they hit 186. So to further your point, the strikeouts.
Bad Milo situation.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. And Munoz comes through. A 2-out RBI double to make it 1-0 Cardinals. That brings in Ozuna. And Munoz will stop at second base as he picks up the RBI, his second of the year. Boy, the Cardinals need that to happen more and more, and needed that in a bad way.
We've talked about how good a hitter Munoz is with 2 strikes. Well, he shows when he looks for that fastball and gets it, he can drill it. He is a dangerous hitter. Marcell Ozuna scoring easily, and Munoz with his 3rd double of the year.
Here's Harrison Bader. Drew a walk. 8-pitch at bat, first time up. Munoz, your runner at second base. And a fastball in there for a strike. And little chopper left side, foul. Already seen 3 plays and 3 different type of plays, and that one a foul ball. But you get the idea that Anderson not only has a strong arm, but he is a good defensive player.
Oh yeah. We said that earlier before the game, and he's proven it. I mean, all you have to do is just, you don't have to study the game or anything like that. Just be an observer of it, and you'll figure out in a hurry who's good and who's not.
He was 4th in the Rookie of the Year ballot last year. That went to Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah, how about those 3 in front of him?
Pretty darn good. Juan Soto and Walker Buehler. And then after him, it was Jack Flaherty and Harrison Bader.
Yeah.
And it was Acuna yesterday that hit the big home run for the Braves.
A 3-run shot.
Yep.
Went from 5-2 to 5-5 against Sergio Romo, the pitcher that I forgot earlier in the game.
Just think Mr. Slider. He's going to flip slider after slider. Alcantara very slow with runners on. And the check swing did not go. Evens it up at 2-2. I'm sure that's part of the learning process, too, for Alcantara. They're going to tell him, you got to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
You know, with runners on. We understand you want to keep guys close, but you got to pick up the pace.
How you throw it's as important as what you throw.
And the 2-2 pitch inside to Bader. Matt Wieters on deck. Cardinals have dropped 22 of 33 games, and in the losses, they're averaging about 2 runs a game and a 194 team average. So when you look at some of the things happening here, it's been poor play on the road.
Yeah.
Offense not coming through in the losses. But you get Miami first game tonight and try to turn it around. And Bader draws his second walk.
If you're a hitter, keep hacking. If you're a pitcher, keep throwing.
A Yachty fan right there, a young Cardinal fan. Celebrate Major League Baseball's Play Ball Weekend, June 23rd. That day, 12,000 kids, 15 and younger, entering with a ticket, receive their very own Rawlings Kids Baseball Glove. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. And that is during the return of Albert Pujols that weekend. And Tim, I've been told just a few hundred tickets remaining, and outside of opening day, that series in terms of tickets sold will be larger than any of the Cubs weekend series that we've ever had. Get those tickets if you're wanting to see Albert Pujols in his return. Should be a fun weekend.
I'll say. And you will, as always, handle it with aplomb, my friend.
Looking forward to it. Seen him a couple of times in Los Angeles, but he's never been back to St. Louis.
Yeah.
So 2 runners on, and the batter is Matt Wieters. And that pitch taken low.
Yeah, you know, when you look at Starlin Castro and shallow right field, really, it's almost a situation for Matt Wieters. If he doesn't get a hit, then Castro can knock the ball down and keep the run from scoring like that.
Gobbles it up. Easy play for him. But spot on. He had time to knock that down if need be.
Could have been, yeah.
So the Cardinals strand a couple, but they pick up a 2-out double and an RBI 1-0. With a 2-out double, Tuna 1-0 Cardinals. With more on the Redbird offense, let's check in with Jimmy.
Yeah, Dan, Mike Schild had an interesting thought on what may be an underlying issue behind the Cards' offensive struggles. He said the Cards have been getting very good starting pitchers up against the ropes, but have failed to deliver the knockout punch. Schild said this: we've got Castillo or Smiley or you name it, Lester or Hamels at 77 pitches in the third. You look up, only 1 run scored. Then you look up in the 6th inning, and he's at 96 and still 1 run. We need to execute better. And then I think we're seeing a little bit of that tonight, too.
Yeah, you pick up the 2-out RBI. That's clearly a step in the right direction with the way things have been going.
Yes, sir.
But Mike's point and the report there by Jim, there's a ground ball slowly hit. Munoz makes the play and retires Garrett Cooper, but it's a valid point. I mean, the Cardinals, it seems like, at times this year, more so than in recent memory, they'll jump out to a lead or, you know, start
and sit on it
and sit on it and string those hits together early on, and then that's it.
It's a nuance in the offense. It's inexplicable. I don't know how to explain it. An example is Saturday. 4 runs in the top of the first and never hit a ball out of the infield for the rest of the game and lost 9-4. I don't get it.
Now the Cardinals on the mound on the road, the team ERA is 5.21. And they come in with a record of 11-19. And to me, even when they were winning some of the games early on the road, they were 20-10 at one point. Still, the pitching wasn't quite on the road where you needed it to be like it was at home.
That was at early May when they had the best record in baseball.
That's right. Little ground ball that's foul. Well, this is the big leagues, and as my partner loves to say, it's the big leagues, man.
It is.
And even with a sparse crowd and not a lot of noise, not a lot of atmosphere, you got to find a way to get ready and play in these games here in Miami.
You got to trick yourself. I'll tell you, Chuck Tanner, former manager for the Pirates, I'll tell you what he said. He said, Tim, he was from the South too. I think he's from Georgia. He said, Tim, you know the best thing of winning a game in the major leagues? I said, no. He said, losing a game in the major leagues.
Because you're in the major leagues.
Because you're in the big leagues, man.
I love it. Big leagues.
Big leagues. This is big league ball. That's a big league pitch from Michael Wacha, too, to get Anderson. Good changeup. That's the changeup where even if you know it's coming, it's still a good changeup.
Ten of 12, first pitch strikes for Michael Wacha. And right as I say that, ball 1 to Starlin Castro. 4-time All-Star, 6 years with the Cubs, 2 with the Yankees, and now his second here in Miami. Just picked up career hit number 1,500 over the weekend.
He can hit, always could.
Yep. He was part of the Stanton deal. Boy, the names they've had here in recent memory, what they'd be doing now.
Gosh.
And a ground ball. Munoz comes in on it, flips it over to first, and a 1-2-3 inning. Inning number 5 rolls in. Michael Wacha due up first when we come back. Around Major League Baseball, keeping you connected. Nationals yesterday, 4 consecutive home runs. Christian Yelich heating up again. Brewers have won 4 straight. Edwin Encarnacion, third active player with 400 home runs. Albert Pujols 644. Miguel Cabrera number 468 he's sitting on. That was also a career run batted in, number 1,200 for Edwin Encarnacion. So he leads the American League in home runs with 20. And you mentioned that Yelich leads the National League with 24.
How about Mike Moustakas? 20 home runs.
He's locked in right now, too. He's been red hot.
Is he ever? Whew.
And primarily playing second base, too.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike on Michael Wacha. Ground ball, left side. Anderson makes the play. Also, some really big news out of the Dominican was David Ortiz being shot and wounded at an amusement center in his hometown of Santo Domingo. Red Sox came out with a statement. David's family has confirmed that he sustained a gunshot wound to lower back abdominal region. Treated in Santo Domingo, where he's recovering after surgery. We've offered David's family all available resources to aid in his recovery. We'll continue to keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Sent shockwaves through sports, not just baseball. Wacha is 0 for 2. Here's Carpenter. He's grounded out and also walked. Got to think that Edwin Encarnacion is trade bait. Seattle has basically said, hey, anybody's available.
Yeah.
0-2 the count. Now 4 infielders on the right side, and Carpenter against that shift with a fly ball into right center, and that's caught. Harold Ramirez with the catch, and that's out number 2. The batter is Jose Martinez. Grounded into a double play and was called out on strikes. At the age of 11, Alcantara's parents decided to have a move in with his sister. Left his hometown in the Dominican, about 3 hours away. He had 10 brothers and sisters. And if he wanted to play baseball and study in peace and quiet, needed to be away from home. So that's what he did. He was signed at the age of 16 by the Cardinals. And when he started playing the game, he was an outfielder. And he was 16 years old, 145 pounds. Then started going to the gym. He's a tall guy, 210 pounds now. Studied hard to learn English. And there's a strikeout of Jose Martinez. Second time he has struck out tonight. Alcantara was 6. All eyes on the women's national team. They'll take on Thailand. And coverage at 1. The Women's World Cup on Fox and FS1. Also can see it on the Fox Sports app. Harold Ramirez, a base hit to left. A 1-0 ball game, and here we go again. The Cardinals have scored 2 runs or fewer in 15 of their last 33 games.
About 46% or so.
And a ground ball. Carpenter late to go get it.
He didn't
not react well at all.
No.
It's a base hit.
You're right, Dan. He didn't see that ball right.
I was just going to go foul.
I was just going to say the one place they're pitching Ramirez because that inside, that closed stance is inside. The fastball was inside, and that delay by Carpenter, I mean, he didn't see the ball. But it was a base hit by Ramirez and should have been a play on it. You know, I think everybody knows that Matt Carpenter and Marcell Ozuna do not have good throwing arms. And sometimes it comes up and bites the Redbirds, and did then.
Waka has gotten out of trouble with 2 double plays turned behind him, also picked off a man. And here's JT Riddle grounded into one of the 2 double plays, 4-6-3 back in the second inning. And that bunt is foul. Well, that play's got to be made, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see in the replay and the reaction at the top portion of your screen, it was very late in reacting. Carpenter off the bat, and the only thing you can think of is he didn't see it, 1 or 2. He thought it was going to go foul. Took it for granted.
Yeah, but you got to complete the play. You can't.
Yeah.
That's a no-no for any infielder, that field the ball and then don't try to be an umpire.
And the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball foul.
Here's another look. Now watch Carpenter. Ground ball. Now the move. Well, that's the difference between out and safe and a bad throw to first base.
Nothing in 2 the count as we play here in the home half of the 5th. 1-0 Cardinals. Outfield fairly shallow and straight away. Another double play ball. Munoz steps on the bag, fires to first, and the 3rd double play turned by the Cardinals tonight. 6-3 on the double play.
I'll tell you, Dan, of all the Cardinal pitchers, the guy least likely to me to get 3 double plays in the first 5 innings of a game is Michael Wacha. The reason for that is he throws a 4-seam fastball and not anything that sinks. If he threw something that sinked, you would expect a ground ball, but not with the type fastball that he throws. Very, very unusual and good for the Cardinals.
Here's Alfaro, but to me what was interesting about that play is that Wacha at the last second let it go. And we talk about shifts in the game. You know, Munoz was playing up the middle. And as a pitcher, a natural reaction is go make the play here. Maybe make that play.
Well,
but you forget who's behind you.
Yeah, but if you make a play like that with your bare hand, something bad's going to happen.
You would think.
Yeah. It's a reaction by a pitcher. You see it. You see it often, but almost always it ends up against the pitcher.
Alfaro singled to left field first time up back in the 3rd, then was picked off at second base.
But there are so many second basemen and shortstops that are wandering behind a pitcher. Sometimes the pitcher, understandably, can't figure out where they are.
And that's my point.
Yeah, of course.
Here's a 1-1 and a grounder foul. Michael Wacha has been really efficient here tonight. Only 50 pitches.
Yeah.
Mike Maddox has to be happy thus far with what he's seen. And the 1-2 pitch. Cardinals in this series have Dakota Hudson going tomorrow. Miles Michaelis finale on Wednesday, and then we'll be in New York on Thursday night. Jack Flaherty will make that start. Michaelis again took that line drive off his forearm of his pitching arm and came away saying he's okay.
Right below or between the wrist and the elbow, right?
Yes. And a base hit through the right side. Shift taketh away, and it also giveth. Cardinals and the Post-Dispatch teaming up to bring fans a great deal on tickets. A limited time. You can see the Cardinals host the Marlins June 17th through the 20th. Just $5 purchase. Or for complete details, visit cardinals.com/post. So the base hit to right. So 2 outs and the runner at first base. Here's Miguel Rojas. walked his first time up, 8th place hitter. And a ground ball again. Munoz to Wong, the force play. We're through 5. It's 1-0 Cardinals. Goldschmidt, Ozuna, who's 2 for 2. 1-0. We take a look at our Lou Fuse this date in Cardinal history. See more at Fuse.com. 2002, first time that 2 Japanese position players play in the same Major League game. So Taguchi of the Cardinals and Ichiro Suzuki of the Mariners. It was at Safeco. It was the year after Ichiro won his lone MVP. Mariners won the game 10-0. Jamie Moyer pitched a complete game shutout. Jamie Moyer was 78 at the time. He pitched forever.
I think 521 home runs, the most ever, too. Given up.
And Goldschmidt lines it into center field. He's hitting the ball hard. Did so yesterday and he's done so a couple of times tonight. Has his first base hit, single into center. Also grounded out sharply to third and struck out.
Watch this pitch. Ball right down the middle. Paul not giving Alcantara a chance to register anything other than a loud hit to center field.
It was 106 miles per hour off the bat.
Yeah.
Ichiro is a 10-time All-Star, 10 Gold Gloves, a couple of batting titles, and actually played here in Miami when he got his 3,000th Major League hit here in the States.
You and I used to go down and just watch him work out.
It's awesome.
It was great.
Jamie Moyer, by the way, 25 seasons he pitched.
Oh, boy. My gosh.
Over
Lives in Seattle.
4,000 innings.
Lives in Seattle?
Yep. I love our This Date in Cardinal History brought to you by Fuse because it conjures up a lot of memories.
Sure.
Things you forget.
Sure.
So Taguchi had 6 years with the Cardinals. Spent time with the Phillies, 1 full season, and then partial year with the Cubs, a .279 career hitter. And he has talked about wanting to manage in the big leagues here in the States. Don Wakamatsu is the first Japanese-American manager in Major League Baseball. And an 0-2 pitch. Trying to elevate there on Ozuna. Pete Rose had 4,256 hits. The hit king. And you combine the hits in Japan and the States. Ichiro had 4,367. That's fouled back. So he's got 5 more years, Tim, to wait on the ballot for the Hall of Fame because, remember, Seattle opened up overseas this year during spring training,
right,
and he appeared in a game.
Right.
So it's a 5-year wait.
Standing ovation.
What a player. Fun to watch.
Remarkable athlete who dedicated his body to his game.
Did he ever? Special trailer at spring training just for him to work out in. He talked about doing exercises, in his opinion, back in the early 2000s that, weren't talked about as much on the heels of the steroid era and all these big bulky guys. He
Isometrics
said,
and stuff like that.
Isometric and also the core. Mentioned being strong. Ozuna has worked this from 0-2 to 3-2.
I think you send Goldschmidt here. I mean, Paul's a fast runner, and Ozuna's come from 0-2 to 3-2. I think you put the heat on Alcantara. You've got a 1-0 lead. Try to expand it.
Austin Bryce getting loose in the Marlins pen. Former Red, saw a lot of him in spring training. 3-2 pitch. Goldschmidt, good jump. He's running, and it's fouled back.
It's another thing that is disappearing in baseball. It used to be, all things considered equal, 3-2 count, send the runner. Style the double play. A lot of different. There's animation on the bases. It confuses the defense. Some reason that managers don't do that anymore.
And that's a ball. So from 0-2, Ozuna draws a walk.
Great at bat.
And he's on base now for the third time. Cardinals blood drive. Fox Sports Midwest and the American Red Cross, June 18th, 19th, and 20th. Use the Blood Donor app or visit redcrossblood.org. Enter sponsor code CARDS.
I don't think you ought to bunt here. I think you swing the bat. Put Alcantara on the ropes.
And a Wong bunt up the third base line, and it's down the right field line.
I take that back.
One run is in, and here comes another. Ozuna will score, and what a smart play by Colton Wong to drop down that
Get out
bunt.
of here. I'm telling you.
I would imagine that would be a base hit and an error on Alfaro. We'll see.
Yeah. Alfaro went a long way and actually made a very good play on that ball. Osuna and Goldschmidt score, and Wong at third base.
So a single and E2 on the play, and 2 runs come in to score. And Colton Wong winds up all the way at third base, and we'll see a double switch coming up here for Miami. We'll sort it out when we come back. Alcantara strikes out 6, facing his former club, but he'll leave trailing 3-0. Field. Perez moves from right to center. JT Riddle, part of the double switch, he's out of the ball game. Bryce comes in. He'll go in Riddle's spot, 6 in their lineup. Granderson in the 9 spot. And here is Austin Bryce, our Chevy called to the pen. The Marlins will have the infield in with Wong, the runner at third, and Jairo Munoz at the plate. Munoz got the Cardinals on the board with a 2-out RBI double to score Ozuna back in the 4th. The BJC Healthcare difference maker in the 4th inning, right down the middle, and Munoz the double in the corner. Scores Ozuna. That made it 1-0. You can see how Bryce would be tough on right-handed batters. He's actually dropped his arm angle just slightly.
Mm-hmm. Good slider. The effect of that, you try to get the right-hander to give a little with that front side. Another one. Pitchers really have to stay on top of that pitch. Otherwise, you get that
cement mixer
rolling.
By the way, they changed the ruling on the Wong play to a sacrifice and then E2, so no single for Colton Wong. I'm not in agreement with that ruling, but
no, I'm not either.
That's the way it goes.
A good throw doesn't have him at first. I mean, Alfaro went a long way to get that bunt to backhand it, pivot, and try to get Wong, but good throw would not have had him.
These are the at-bats that Jimmy was talking about before. You've gotten 3 runs, and now a chance to make it 4. Runner at third, and nobody out. Mike Schilt saying to both of us we get these leads, but we got to tack on.
Well, they tacked on 2. And with nobody out, chance for a continued big inning.
And that's out of play. And I think this is the key at bat, because the guy on deck, Bader, with right-handers that can, if they stay on top of that pitch that you're talking about, he struggles against that slider.
Right.
Get him home here.
Smell the blood.
And a ground ball left side. Wong stays put, and there's out number 1. Reminder that baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals, and by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. So runner at third.
One
Infield still in
possibility
and
here.
1 out.
One possibility here is a squeeze.
Sure. I definitely think about that here.
Yeah. Good bunter at the plate. Speed at third. Better situation because now you thwart the pitch out for the most part. Because if you pitch out here and they're not doing anything, it's 2-0 to Bader. You don't want to concede walking him. So we'll see.
And the 1-0 pitch to Bader. 2-0. Matt Wieters on deck.
I can't remember the Cardinals with a suicide squeeze all year.
Boy, one does not come to mind.
Yeah. Something to talk to Mike about.
Two and 1 the count. Harrison has walked twice tonight. And the 2-1. 3-1. He's never walked 3 times in a major league game. Also has seen a lot of pitches. It was an 8-pitch first at bat. Walked the second time up, and now 3-1 the count on Bader. Big gap in left center. Full count. You would think that this ballpark would see a lot of triples. It is spacious. 407 to center. The wall kind of goes in and out. It's not just the easy curve going around from foul pole to foul pole, and yet the Marlins finally picked up their first triple over the weekend.
They have 1 triple in 70 games.
And a liner out to left center. The catch is made. Well done by Ramirez. Runner will tag up and score. That's Wong, and it's 4-0 St. Louis. That was just the area I was thinking about with Bader.
Yeah. It's where it was. Got a fastball. Good job by Colton Wong. You're dropping down, and Harrison Bader was ready for the fastball. Good play by Ramirez, as you said, Dan. But had that ball gotten in the gap, you bet it would have been a triple for Bader.
There's Matt Wieters. So to put it in perspective, we were talking about the fact that they only have 1 triple. The 1985 Cardinals had 59 as a team that year, with Willie McGee leading the way with 18 of them. Almost hit Wieters on that back foot. Willie had 18 back in 1985, and the team total was 59. They had some speed on that team. And the 2-0 is now 3-0.
There was a book years ago. I'll try to be concise in getting and there were two lovers in the book, and the one lover said, "Do you love me?" And he said, he was kind of a country guy from the South. He said, "You mean more than a triple?" And she said, "What?" He said, "You mean more than a triple. If you say that, do I love you more than a triple, the answer is no."
That sounds like your first marriage.
Oh, my God.
Hey,
Get that phone. Get that phone.
You went down that road. Back at it again tomorrow. Game 2 of this series as Dakota Hudson will pitch for St. Louis. He's really settled in, coming off a good second month. 5:30 with the pregame show. Hernandez will go for the Marlins. And that's your Budweiser What's on Tap. Oh, speaking of pitching, Jim Hayes, you have some news on Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, the Cards just got back some of the test results on Adam Wainwright, who went on the IL with a left hamstring strain. The Cards say it doesn't appear to be as serious as it could have been. John Mozeliak told me we're encouraged with the news. Adam will likely get retested in 7 days and will determine his next steps from there. Dan, it's a mild or grade 1 strain for Waino. There was some concern it could be worse.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. So that's good news. Here's Curtis Granderson, longtime major leaguer, 16th year. Part of the double switch, and looks at a strike. Grew up in Blue Island, Chicago. His mom, a chemistry teacher. Dad, physical education teacher. And whenever he gets the chance, class guy Curtis Granderson is talking about the importance of education for our youth, and he puts his money where his mouth is. He just made a donation within the last 2 years of $5 million to a school in Chicago.
One of the real gentlemen of the game.
Sure is.
Talk about giving back.
Tigers, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Blue Jays, the Brewers. 3-time All-Star. He's won the Marvin Miller Award twice, who is the former director of the Players Association, and that's a big deal.
It sure is.
Players that give back. And couldn't pull the trigger in a strikeout of Granderson, number 3 tonight for Michael Wacha.
Tried to check his swing, couldn't. Well, you know, we talked in our opening tonight about the tilt of Michael Wacha. And boy, it's sure worked tonight, I'll tell you. Looks like his back. We talked about his oblique injury last year, and it took 3 months to get well.
Carpenter to his left, the throw high and safe. Hustling down the line was Austin Dean, and an error on Carpenter.
That's why you run the ball hard to first base. It is an error on Carpenter, but once again he had to field that ball from deep third base and was out of position to make a good throw. Errant throw and an error given.
So 2 errors in this game. Alfaro and now Carpenter. 1 out, runner at first base. Cardinals have turned 3 double plays behind Michael Wacha tonight. +5 for Alcantara. 4 hits, 4 runs, walked 4 and struck out 6. Slowly hit Wong. Only play to underhand to Goldschmidt. Advances the runner to second. And it brings in Brian Anderson. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Emptied your digital wallet? We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
2 outs, runner at second base. And the batter is Anderson. Hit .273 with 11 homers last year. Already got 7 home runs hit this year. Anderson grounded into a 5-4-3 double play and struck out swinging. I would say the Cardinals have to be thrilled with what they've gotten out of Michael Wacha.
No question about it.
They needed someone to give them a chance not only to win a game, but maybe, just maybe, go deep. And there's no reason to think that Wacha couldn't do that. Pitch count only at 62.
From a Cardinal standpoint, he's already gone deep. 2 outs through 5 2/3.
I got to wonder if his knee,
the left one,
has been more than an issue that's been led on by Michael Wacha.
The combination of the two, of the oblique last year that he missed 3 months, the final 3 months of the season, and then combined with it could have caused the knee injury this year. Who knows?
Seeing more of a leg drive his last outing,
maybe.
And bending at the hip a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about the tilt. I mean, all those things come into play here.
Absolutely.
3-0 pitch. You see how he finished that? I'm not sure we saw that earlier this year from Michael Wacha. That's fouled back, strike 2. Three and two. 2 outs. And a runner at second base here in the home half of the 6th. That's it out of play. I think the other thing that you have to think about too, Tim, is that Michael is not in a multi-year deal and a free agent to be. And don't think for a second he doesn't want to be out there to pad a resume and to show that he's not hurt.
Sure. Well, that's an ongoing situation with every player, whether he's in his walk year or not.
And that pitch in the dirt, so his second walk issued. And it brings in Starlin Castro. Outdoors Night presented by Missouri Conservation Heritage Foundation returns to the ballpark June 17th. That's a Monday. Purchase of a theme ticket. Take home a Cardinals fishing shirt, and you can get your Outdoors Night tickets at cardinals.com/theme. Well, Mike Maddox out to visit. Maybe slow him down a bit on what is a humid night here at the ballpark. Runners at first and second, and keep in mind that Starlin Castro's hit pretty good numbers against tonight's right-hander Michael Wacha.
So that's a great thing for Mike to tell him in a mound visit. Say, Mike, do you realize that going into this game, Starlin Castro was 12 for 25 against you and had the highest batting average? That's a wonderful thing for you to tell. That, by the way, was given by the guys in the truck. This is... Anyway, Mike, go get him.
So 2 outs, a 2 on. Castro grounded back to the pitcher and also grounded out to short. Giovanni Gallegos starting to throw.
Yeah, that walk and now falling behind Castro, dangerous hitter.
Gallegos has turned into a reliable reliever for the Cardinals and a weapon.
He is a real weapon. I agree.
In the air. Goldschmidt giving it a look, and it's out of play. Lot of red, not a lot of fans, but among them, folks in red. A lot of Cardinal fans here in Miami.
Red clusters throughout.
And the 1-1. Two and two.
Good fastball right there. That's the best high fastball he's thrown in this game. Kind of sniff a changeup now, perhaps.
And the 2-2 pitch. Just below us. See if he can't put him away. The 2-2 pitch. Runs a count full. Ramirez 2 for 2 off of Waka tonight. He's at the on-deck circle. Pitch number 75 coming up from Michael Waka. Play Castro to right field, straight up on the infield. It's a big pitch right here for Michael.
Says it all.
If he gets on, got Gallegos up, man on deck 2 for 2. Could be it for Michael Waka. We'll see.
Yep.
The 3-2, and he struck him out. Michael Waka picks up the strikeout of Starlin Castro, his biggest of the night, with a changeup. Marlins strand of Miami, home to the Marlins. And when you get a hug like that, that usually means you're out of the game.
That's right. Otherwise, guys would be hugging every inning.
Be a lot of hugs. Third time that Waka has gone at least 6 innings. The other 2 were against Milwaukee, and the pinch hitter for Michael will be Dexter Fowler. It's a Honda home run inning. Well, what you do here is you keep Fowler in the ball game. He'll take over in right, you would assume. Martinez due up third. Let him hit one more time, and then pitcher spot will go there.
Right.
Mentioned that Dexter's in a little bit of a rut right now. More than a little bit. 5 for his last 42.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's happened to the Marlins also. They have 3 guys with cliff falls as far as at bats are concerned. And the same for the Cardinals. It's not just 2 for his last 9. We're talking 40 at bats, 50 at bats, things like that, in paltry numbers. It's alarming.
And the 1-2 pitch. Gallegos sits now, and Gant is throwing. And I think the idea would be Gallegos maybe could give you an out or 2 and start a clean inning with Gant. The 2-2 pitch. You know, Gallegos threw a lot over the weekend.
in both games on Saturday and Sunday. I think he pitched 4 innings in those 2 games, 3 or 4. But enough for Mike Schilt.
The 3-2 pitch. And Fowler lifts a high fly ball out to left center. Ramirez over and makes the catch. StubHub, place to go if you need tickets, even after the first pitch is delivered. Official partner of the Cardinals, StubHub. Bryce has come in, gotten a ground out and 3 flyouts. The 4 batters that he's seen. The top of the lineup, it's Carpenter, and then we'll see Jose Martinez. Three infielders on the right side. Anderson, the only infielder on the left side. There's a ball. Matt tonight walked on 4 straight pitches to start the game. Also grounded out to second in the 3rd and fly to right in the 5th. 0 for 2. StatCast AI powered by AWS, and that's the spray chart with ground balls. Second behind Freddie Freeman in shifts faced.
How about that? Cody Bellinger, 3rd on that list as Matt grounds out harmlessly to first. Cody Bellinger, some of those games in St. Louis, he hit the ball so hard you wondered how any defender was going to catch the ball.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, his bat speed has got to be as high as anybody's. Top 5 for me. And that's among the Mays, McCovey, Stargell group. Aaron.
I'm going to throw one that you're probably not thinking of when you say those names. How about Gary Sheffield and his bat speed?
Sure. Oh, yeah. Sheff was
lightning quick.
Oh, there were a lot of Billy Williams. Sweetness was his nickname. Reason for that, it was sweet from his side of it. It wasn't sweet from a pitcher's side.
You know, Bellinger's in a little bit of a slump, so he's only hitting .355 now. .355 in June. And the 0-1 pitch now to Martinez. Fly ball out to right. And Martinez 0 for 4. Catch made by Granderson. Time to stretch. 4-0 St. Louis. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. In Miami, 4-0 St. Louis. Michael Wacha goes 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs. And in relief, John Gant, our Chevy, called to the pen. Gant will go in the spot that was occupied by Jose Martinez. Fowler stays in the game, and he's in right field.
You know, the Cardinals have 2 guys in the bullpen that have just been stalwart pitchers this year, and that's John Gant and John Brebbia, the 2 Johns.
The pitch arsenal there.
The Cardinals have struggled, but you can imagine how much more they would have struggled without those 2.
And the 1-0 is hit out of the gap in right center. And Ramirez has had a nice night. Leadoff double. And Harold Ramirez is now 3 for 3.
That's the type of hitter we talked about with the Marlin offense. They're not a home run hitting outfit, but they do hit extra base hits. Ramirez with a couple tonight. I beg your pardon. He has 2 singles and a double, but 3 for 3 on the evening.
Rosell Herrera. 216, couple of home runs. So Herrera pinch hitting for Bryce. And that pitch taken down and in. Well, we had the chance to visit with the Passmore family reunion. We met them a number of years ago here in Miami. As we spoke to them at local hotel here, as we caught up with the Passmore family reunion, they were asking, would Tim come out to the Clevelander? So
Will you cut it out?
Well, you have an open invite to join their group out there in the Clevelander.
Well, I mean,
enjoy yourself out there.
Never know.
You never know. Wei-Yin Chen, lefty throwing in the Marlins pen. Here's a 1-1 pitch after a very good changeup. Fastball misses in at 98. Wacha's first scoreless start of 6 or more innings since June 3rd of 2018. Did that against the Pirates last year. Went 8 innings in that start. Now it's up to the pen and a 2-1 pitch. Two and two.
Those of you who do not know what the Clevelander is, it is a cocktail lounge in left center field here at Marlins Ballpark. It's occupied now, not about half full.
That's one way to describe it.
That is the Clevelander.
And the 2-2 and a ground ball that is fair. Goldschmidt will take it, steps on the bag. It was nice, though, the Passmores to invite you out there. Take it in and enjoy yourself. Maybe we'll broadcast out there. Here's Jorge Alfaro.
Use your pull.
I'm all for it. That's
I know.
going to make
both
those
know
Cardinal
Derek
fans
Jeter
happy.
pretty well. We talk to Jeets. Former Yankee Jorge Posada is also a Derek Jeter's right-hand man here with the Miami Marlins now. Two great players there, boy. Whew.
It's kind of Yankee eccentric, too. Many in their front office and scouting.
Yeah.
Marlins have out-hit the Cardinals 6-4, but trail 4-0. Runner at third, one out. 1-1 the count on Alfaro is 2 for 2. Good pitch in on his hands. That's 98 with a run. There's Derek Jeter, part of the ownership group and running the management team here with the Miami Marlins.
He is scheduled to go in the Hall of Fame next year. Obviously, it hasn't been voted on yet, but he's a shoo-in. The principal owner and chairman of the Marlins is a gentleman named Bruce Sherman. He and Derek Jeter are partners, but certainly Bruce Sherman, the money man in this operation.
So Mariano Rivera goes in. Unanimous selection this year, and Jeter up after that group goes in.
Cooperstown's going to change with Yankee fans this year and next.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
And the 0-2. Ground ball. Wong. Run will score. And the pick by Goldschmidt. So the Marlins get on the board to make it 4-1.
That's a good play by Paul, and I'll tell you why. Usually short hops, particularly with that big glove, is you're better off to the left or to the right. But when it's right at you, the heel of the glove gets involved, and it's not as comfortable on the short hop, but a good play by Goldschmidt gets the runner.
Well, by all accounts, from what you read, from the experts that follow, amateur baseball, college baseball, the Marlins did have a very good draft. But, I mean, you just don't know.
No. I'll tell you, I've seen some footage of that left-hander the Cardinals drafted.
Young man out of Kentucky.
Yeah, boy, I like him.
They feel he is going to move rapidly through the system.
I mean, just the feeling of the Cardinals with a left-hander, that was a must, I felt, for Mo and his guys.
Zach Thompson, the 19th overall pick out of Kentucky, a Wildcat. Mo was telling me the other day he likens his road to the big leagues very similar to what Michael Wacha did out of Texas A&M. He was not in the minor leagues very long and came up and made quite a debut. Marco Gonzalez did that as well. That's backhanded by Munoz. So Gant, pitching here in the 7th inning, gives up a run, and it's now 4-1. Marlins Park. Beautiful, beautiful facility here. Made some changes. No more do you see the home run sculpture inside the ballpark. That's gone. It's in pieces around here at Marlins Park. Here's Goldschmidt against Wei-Yin Chin. Also darkened it up with the green that you see out there in left center and center field. And Goldschmidt, oh, what a play here. Diving stoppage short. Wow. Miguel Rojas robbing Goldschmidt for the first out here in the 8th. What a play.
He can pick it. Ball hit hard. 4 pretty good at bats by Paul Goldschmidt tonight. He only had 1 hit, but he hit the ball hard 3 times.
There's Marcell Ozuna, 2 runs scored, 2 for 2 with a walk. His return to Miami. Wei-Yin Chin signed for 5 years, $80 million. And he signed through 2020 with a vesting option. So far in this uniform, 13 and 19. So Ozuna hits a rocket to third. And the ERA just a shade below 5. They were counting on the Chevy call to the pen, Wei-Yin Chin, to be a anchor of their rotation. It's been anything but. 2 away.
Guy you give a lot of credit to is Chin's agent.
Oh, yeah.
What a deal he pulled off.
Nice work.
Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try.
Colton Wong, shift on the right side. So he's in his 4th season, and he's made 53 starts. And it got to the point where the Marlins felt they could only start him in home games. He struggled so much on the road. And the 1-1. Let's see if Wong keeps that front shoulder in and takes a ball to left.
Yeah, we were talking about it during his 2nd at bat tonight.
The 2-1. Well, you just got to wonder about these teams down in Florida and if they can sustain what's happening here. No one's at the ballpark. They're not coming out. And that's both here in Miami and Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay with a great ball club. I mean, not good. They may have the best pitching in the majors.
Yes.
Last year's Cy Young Award winner. Blake Snell.
You have a publicly financed ballpark here, and it's beautiful. Wouldn't think that Miami's going anywhere, even with these crowds. Tampa Bay, that's a different story. They have tried and tried to get a new facility, and they can't. They'd love to be in Ybor City, for those of you that are familiar with the Tampa area.
Tampa's pitching staff, their earned run average is .289.
Wow. Strikeout of Wong, so
oh boy, that ball was high. Yeah.
As a 1-2-3, a look at South Beach. If Tim's not at the Clevelander,
hello,
he's on
Mama.
South Beach, taking it all in. Another inning of work here. Gant gave up a run in the 7th, 4-1 our score. Here's Curtis Granderson. And a fastball taken. Ball 1. Marvin Miller Award. Twice he won it. Talking about that earlier. It's the player in either league whose on-field performance and contributions to his community inspire others to higher levels of achievement. Albert Pujols won that for the Cardinals in 2006. Eric Davis won that while wearing a Cardinal uniform in the year 2000. 1-2 the count. Last pitch, a very good changeup, the Vulcan grip that Gant uses. Might get it again. Granderson, a fly ball to Bader. And there's one away. So Gant gets the first out here in the home half of the 8th. Phillips 66 ticket vouchers are back, and they are better than ever. Fill up at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more. Get a voucher for up to 50% off on up to 8 tickets to a home game. Cardinals.com/Phillips 66. And that pitch taken low. Top of the lineup, Austin Dean. Reached on an air by Carpenter. And he is 0 for 3. I mean, if you're Derek Jeter and that ownership group, Tim, you've got to be concerned that they're stockpiling, prospects. And let's say some of these come out to be players, good major league players, and they start to compete again. The problem is, one of them, the fan base, has been burned here in Miami. There's Jorge Posada there on the right with Derek Jeter. So they've had now 15 years of a postseason drought. Last time they were in the World Series was 2003. They won it in 98 too, or 97.
97, yeah.
And it's 2 World Championships as Fowler makes the catch. But yet, after those teams won, they dismantled the teams.
I was going to say the same thing.
And then
Wayne Huizenga.
Yeah, and then you built this ballpark with public funding, and then you sign some guys, and then it didn't work. Boom, blow it up.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been burned. The fan base.
And
there's no other way to put it.
Fans, rightly so, do not. It may not be Derek Jeter's fault, or the manager and owner of the Marlins now, but it's somebody's fault, and fans have long memories.
Yeah. They've never won a division. When they won the 2 World Series, they were the wild card, and they've never lost a playoff series. How about that? Longest drought right now in baseball, 17 years. Seattle, last one in 2001. Miami, the 2003 World Series. The Padres, it's been 12 years. They went to the 06 Division Series and lost to the Cardinals, their last playoff appearance. And the White Sox, it's been 10 years. They were in the Division Series of 08.
White Sox with a pretty good team this year. Lucas Giolito can pitch.
Tim Anderson.
What's he, 9-1?
Yep. Had to be tough to give up Sale and some of the others that they had, but
yeah. Didn't Giolito go to the same school as Jack Flaherty?
Yes.
The high school?
Westlake in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Right.
And so did the lefty from Atlanta, Freed.
Right, with a good curveball. Learned a curveball from Sandy Koufax by watching him pitch in the 1960s.
1-2-3 inning for Gant. We head to inning number 9. Baseball brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. Buy Steak and Shake. Get 4 meals for 4 items for $4. 444. Get more for 4 only at Steak and Shake. Outside the ballpark, Jairo Munoz had probably the biggest hit in this game, coming up with the Cardinals struggling offensively, but he laced a double with 2 outs down the left field line to score Marcell Ozuna, and that made it 1-0.
No question about it, Dan. Thing about Munoz, even if he does really well, where's he going to play the next night?
I think at this point, don't you shuffle things? I mean, again, tonight,
I think if
you've got 4 hits tonight. That's it.
Yeah, it's true.
DeYoung sitting
1
tonight.
or 2 hits in a lineup looks like it's. I think Paul's just seated tonight, and I don't believe he is at all happy, and you can't really blame him. But reap what you sow.
And the 0-2 is foul, and Munoz has shown the ability to play the outfield.
He
Various
certainly
positions.
did last year.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, he can play right field, center field. He's got good speed, got good action at shortstop.
He's got a big arm. I wonder if long term that's where he starts seeing more time.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Chen spins and makes the play. So Munoz 1 for 4, but you get to a point in a season, Tim, where you start looking at the schedule and you're saying we're run out of time. Now, I'm not saying that you're at that point here, but
no,
you're at a point where maybe you shake it
over
up.
a third of the season, though.
Yeah. Even Mike said this is the point in the year where you kind of have the identity of your club.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if this is the identity of the club, then you understand why you might shake it up.
That's an interesting term. I've never heard that. Identity of the club. I like that. And he's right.
There's Bader, a couple of walks, sac fly, run batted in. He's had some good at-bats tonight. And fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jordan Hicks starting to throw in the Cardinal pen. We're in the top of the 9th. There's a look at Jordan getting loose for the bottom. Anderson, Castro, Ramirez due up 3, 4, and 5. Gant, 2 innings, 1 run. Some matchup. If you're Bader, you like it. Lefty, he's had good numbers, albeit a short major league career so far, but that's where he's done a lot of the damage, and it's not an overpowering lefty. Let's see what happens here. 2-2. Shift on the left side of the infield with 2 strikes, and that's pulled foul. Two, and Bader lifts a fly ball into center. Ramirez racing in under it and makes the catch. That's out number 2. The Cardinals with 4 hits tonight against Alcantara, Bryce, and Chen, and all the hits were against Alcantara. Bryce went 2 innings, came in the 6th with 1 out and 1 on with a runner at third. He went 6 up and 6 down.
That's a good point, Dan, because this is a well-pitched game by both teams.
And if not for the error from Alfaro, this is a different game.
That's right.
Matt Wieters takes a ball low, so Munoz at short. And talking it over there with Paul DeYoung. That's foul. Wieters, his damage has been done from the other side of the plate.
That's the thing about Munoz, too. You just kind of overhear conversations in the clubhouse and everything. And this guy's all business. I mean, he not just because of that shot, but I just like the way he carries himself in a major league uniform. He knows he belongs and thought he belonged last year and proved it when he played.
1-2 in the strikeout of Wieters. Cardinals have struck out 8 times tonight, but they'll go to the bottom of the 9th, leading 4-1. Anderson, Castro, Ramirez coming up. These are plays of the game. Ryan Anderson, first inning, walk on the mound, 5-4-3 double play. Second inning, after a base hit by Ramirez, erased on the double play. And then this double play, Munoz stepping on the bag, and that was in the 5th. 3 double plays behind Michael Walker, went 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, walked 2, struck out 4. John Gant, 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. No walks, no strikeouts, and now Jordan Hicks.
We've seen Jordan come into games this year, and regardless of the score, think about throwing breaking balls behind in the count, things like that. To me, he's got to reestablish his fastball. He's got to throw his fastball more and more and more, and by doing that, he can work off of that. But particularly with the 3-run lead, you can't walk anybody, and he's been guilty of that thus far this year.
And a base hit into right field. That pitch at 101.
101 at the knees away. Pretty good hitting by Anderson.
So single to right to start the inning. Not a bad pitch, a little movement down in the zone.
Yeah. Much rather see that than have a 5-pitch walk.
Starlin Castro is 0 for 3. Grounded back to the pitcher, grounded to short, and also struck out. Cardinals would love that 4th double play. Fastball taken low at 102. If the Cardinals can hold on, they go back to 500. They'd be 32-32. And the 1-0 pitch. Good breaking ball. Wow.
Well, that was a ball. It was a great breaking ball, but it was a ball. And in the olden days, and here's the old head in the booth saying something, but you take a strike. You're down by 3. So you hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's a 1-run game. You get on, you got to get on anyway.
And the fastball at 102. He came into this appearance leading all of baseball. 170 pitches thrown at least 100 miles an hour. 46% of the pitches he's thrown. Guerrero's pitching for Miami is second with 81 of those. And Tim, he's also thrown 49 of the 50th fastest registered pitches this year in baseball.
It's impressive, but how's he done? I mean, I'd rather see him be less impressive and do better. I guess that's kind of what I'm saying.
The 2-2 could be 2. Carpenter, Wong, the turn, not in time. The first out here in the bottom of the ninth.
How in the world did Castro hit that ball? Ball would have been under the plate.
Brings in Ramirez. He's 3 for 3. Marlins about hit the Cardinals 7-4 in this game. Cardinals do not have a hit since back in the 6th inning. And yet they have the lead 4-1. Martin Prado is at the on-deck circle.
You nailed it when you said Alfaro, had it not been for that throwing error, this would be a different game, and you're right.
That was in the 6th. Initially, with runners at first and second, Wong bunted, ruled a base hit, then a sacrifice, and an error that allowed 2 runs to score. There's a fastball and a strike, and so here's the play we're talking about. 6th inning, Wong up, drops down a bunt, and Alfaro dropped it in right field.
Two runs scored on that play and one later.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Inside corner, 1-0-2. Ramirez spun away. He didn't like that.
Was it inside? I don't think so.
Slider struck him out.
That was a slip slider. Slip sliding away. He slipped and threw the slider anyway.
Ramirez words with the home plate umpire now.
Nice that Hicks. Nice that he kept his balance and didn't hurt himself on that pitch. That was a wicked slider, though. Oof.
So 2 outs, and Prado, the pinch hitter. This guy has been a good player for a long time, but just injuries have curtailed the success that he's had the last couple of years. He was on the DL 7 times combined the last 2 years.
Wow. Wow. He's such a professional, too. You talk to him, such an affable guy who can explain the game with the best of them. Kind of like Jose Oquendo, who we saw tonight, drove down from Jupiter, north of here. Nice to see Jose.
It's fielder's indifference as Castro takes the bag at second, and now the Marlins down to their final strike. Cardinal fans here in attendance, some of them on their feet. And the 0-2 pitch just got a piece. Prado spent time in Arizona, Miami, Yankees, then back with Miami again. Our crowd tonight, the announced paid attendance 6,585. 6,585. pitch.
Prado, a guy that will go to right field with 2 strikes on him. He's a very smart hitter.
One and 2 the count. Did he go? Yes, he did. A strikeout for Hicks ends it with back-to-back strikeouts, and the ball game is over. And the Cardinals are back to 500 as Jordan Hicks gets the final 3 outs here in the 9th inning, and the Cardinals win it 4-1.
The 3 runs in the 5th inning and the 3 double plays. So 3, the magic number for the Cardinals as they win by 3 tonight.
4-1 the final. Walker the winner, 4-2. Alcantara 3-6, and a save for Jordan Hicks.